Singer David, real name David Anthony Burke, has been arrested. After 7 months, the 21-year-old was taken into custody by the Los Angeles Police Department on suspicion of murder in the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And police say the arrest happened today with detectives from the LAPD's Robbery and Homicide Division taking Burke into custody. He is now being held without bail. To be clear, I mentioned this before, this is a major break in the case that has been haunting investigators for months. To be clear also, he is innocent until proven guilty. I'll talk about what this all means. But ever since September 2025, when police popped the trunk of a Tesla that was found abandoned in the Hollywood Hills and discovered the dismembered body of teenage runaway Celeste Rivas Hernandez, we have been talking about it. And as the investigation unfolded, there were even more disturbing alleged details emerged, including that parts of her body had been placed in bags inside the vehicle. And since then, there has been intense speculation, all of it centered on the singer named David, that the Tesla was reportedly his, that he and Celeste, who was that they claimed was his underage girlfriend, even though that wasn't confirmed by investigators as of yet. But you had apparent photos of the two together circulating online, raised a lot of questions. And Burke, by the way, hasn't been seen in public since his world tour was abruptly scrapped, hasn't said a public word about any of this. And until now, there has been no arrest. So should we, again, I have to be very clear here. Formal charges have not been filed as of yet. This is despite a grand jury having been impaneled, so it's interesting. And police say the case will be presented to the district attorney on Monday for filing consideration. So tonight, for the big questions, I want to turn right now to missing persons private investigator Steve Fischer and LA Magazine contributor Lauren Conlon. Both have been covering the story since it began. Steve, stand by. Lauren, I want to go to you. You have a few more details about the actual arrest of David, right?
Yes, Jesse, we've all been waiting for this day for a very long time. And reportedly, David was arrested at the home he was staying at in Los Angeles. Now, we don't know where that is, but as you said, he has remained silent and out of the public eye for 7 months. So again, the details we have so far are that he hasn't been booked just yet. I did call the jail. They said it usually takes about 5 hours for processing. So we will know a little bit more information as the night goes on, you know, how much his bail is going to be set for, if anything. And as you said, Blair Burke, his attorney, did just issue a statement, which is so interesting.
I'm going to read it. Let me read it real quick.
Yeah.
Here it is. Okay, so this is from his attorneys, Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peter. Let us be clear, the actual evidence in this case will show that David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and he was not the cause of her death. There has been no indictment returned by any grand jury in this case, and no criminal complaint filed. David, excuse me, has only been detained under suspicion. We will vigorously defend David's innocence. Actually, Steve, I want to start with you now with that. First, your reaction, because if anybody knows you, you have been quite vocal advocating for David's arrest for quite some time. But like they said, just an arrest, no charges yet. Isn't that confusing? Wasn't there a grand jury that was impaneled?
It's really confusing, and I'll tell you, I tweeted about this exact thing before that statement came out. I was surprised that this arrest was by complaint. It was not going to be sent to the DA's office to consider being charged. This is not an indictment for the grand jury. So either the grand jury would fail to return an indictment, or for some reason they didn't send it to the grand jury for an actual vote. So either one of those, I'll tell you, it worries me a little bit.
Well, explain to our audience why it worries you. Before you do, let me just read you. This is the statement from the LA County DA's office. Our office is aware of the arrest of David Anthony Burke by the Los Angeles Police Department. The case is expected to be presented to the Major Crimes Division, at which point prosecutors will review the facts and evidence to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to file charges. At this time, additional information is not available. We will share an update on Monday once a filing decision has been made. First, two questions to you, Steve. Were they aware that LAPD was going to arrest him? And two, why does this worry you? You're saying maybe the case is not strong?
I don't know for sure if they were made aware. Normally in the circumstance they would be, but I don't know. Is there now a break possibly between LAPD and the DA's office on this case? It could be, because we know that there was a grand jury impaneled. We know that because the filings that the DA's office did in Texas, that was by the DA's office, so they're aware of this case. The fact that they didn't arrest him by indictment, and strategically would make sense that they go for an indictment, I guess, if they want to keep everything really private like they have done. But now it's got to go to a preliminary hearing. So I don't know if there was they couldn't come to terms, and LAPD said, listen, we're just gonna throw it out there and arrest him and see if the DA's office picks up charges or not.
Well, look, if you're right, I mean, this could have been just an investigative grand jury gathering evidence, locking in testimony. Maybe they didn't feel they could get a majority of jurors to believe that there was enough probable cause for a charge. Maybe unlikely, because, you know, a grand jury is relatively low standard. But then, like you said, maybe you go to a preliminary hearing in front of a judge, you present the evidence. Lauren, I got to go to you on this. Two parts. One, I mean, you said it, we didn't even know where David was. I didn't even know he was staying in the Hollywood Hills. That was a shocker, you know, what he was doing there. But any response from his family, any response from Neil Langston, who was his apparent friend that was arrested for allegedly not providing testimony, for not testifying in front of the grand jury. He had to be arrested and then actually brought, or reportedly brought to an LAPD, a Los Angeles courtroom to testify. Are we getting any response from third parties here?
So I did just do some digging previously after the news of his arrest. I reached out to the Burke family attorney, Kent Schaefer. I literally just got an email back from him, and this attorney was responsible for filing the writ of habeas corpus, so the family didn't have to testify and travel to Los Angeles. And I said, what do you know about this arrest? And he said, I don't know much more than you. I reached out to Josh Marshall for a statement, his manager. I have not heard back yet. And Neil Langston, I went directly to his Instagram to see if he posted anything. And his Instagram, while it still exists, it's wiped. He completely wiped it of every single photo. Previously, he had wiped it of just photos of he and David. Now it's totally gone. So, I mean,
and he was quite vocal on there, Lauren. He relatively recently, Neil Langston posted a bunch of kind of cryptic messages seemingly referring to David.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear to me at this point that David, nobody wants anything to do with him. I mean, everybody is like, whoa, I'm staying away, or that's what it seems like to me. But I think the big question here is going back to what Steve said. I mean, this arrest reportedly is based on probable cause at this point. So what changed? What piece of evidence came forward now that they didn't have 7 months ago? That's what I'm asking myself.
That's fair. Steve, look, one of the reasons we don't have a lot of questions, a lot of answers, is because the medical examiner's report has been sealed. This was sealed right per the LAPD. I wonder now, if there has been an arrest, is that going to be unsealed? Because if you hear his attorney saying he's not the cause of death, what exactly was the cause of death?
So now that he's these charges are about to be sent up to the DA for consideration, now they'll probably switch their strategy a little bit. And if that's the case, they got something in there that they think points away from David, they're going to want that unsealed. And they're going to have to unseal it anyways now, because there's going to be a prelim hearing, assuming he pleads, not guilty. So it's funny. Things are going to really now, an indictment, everything would have stayed sealed. And now that's different. So we're about to, if it moves forward, we're about to see a lot, I think, which is healthy, I think, for the case.
Lauren, what about Celeste's family? I don't know if there's ever enough discussion about her family, what they've been going through, what information they have or have not been provided over the last 7 months. Have you hearing anything from them regarding this arrest?
I mean, my heart breaks for them, Jesse. My heart really does break for them. And initially, it was really her brother that was speaking out to the press. I don't know too much about her mother and father, except I don't think they speak very good English. I think there's a language barrier. So, they haven't really been vocal about this. I know her aunt initially was pretty vocal when she was missing. I saw a lot on Facebook, her cousin as well. But that's really all I know. I'm going to just really, again, stay on top of this as I have been, because I know, Steve, you know, we've been working together on this a lot, and we've just been waiting for this day and for the evidence to come out. I mean, everything has been so secretive, as you said, right down to the medical examiner's report. And one of the first things I did, and even though I knew it probably wouldn't be available, I started refreshing that page again because, you know, I mean, supposedly or reportedly, her cause of death was undetermined at one point because her poor little body was so badly decomposed.
Steve, at one point, when this is the last part before I have to go, Steve, remember they said they didn't even know if there was any crime beyond concealment of the body. They couldn't even determine if this was or they didn't even come out publicly and say it was a murder.
Which is baffling because that was never true, because they knew she had been dismembered when they came out with that. And that is a mutilation of a corpse. That's a felony in California, not a misdemeanor. So that was an untrue statement. So this is where I'm still very confused about what's going on here.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to stay on top of this. We will see what happens Monday and going into next week, how this progresses. I will say it again. He has been arrested. He hasn't been charged. He's innocent until proven guilty. But this is, again, a major development in a case that we've been following very closely here on this program. Steve Fischer, Lauren Conlon, thank you for staying on top of this, and thank you for coming on. I appreciate you both.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.